So this is actually number 20 in the British Skating Legends interviews, if you like, DVDs.
Number 20?
20, yeah, sorry mate. When I got to you, I had to wait a while. So I'm only doing people who are close to snuffing it. But so anyway.
I haven't got long left there.
So anyway, so for the record first, so when and where were you born?
I was born in Canterbury in January 1970.
Right. So is there a middle name?
Paul.
Didn't know that. So AP Harlow. Right. Because I've never, because a lot of the skaters like JC Fry, JE Fry, TC Mayers, I never saw a middle name for Ashley Harlow.
He's only one of me.
That is that. So anyway, what I want to know is, how did you get into skating?
Well, my uncle actually played roller hockey for England.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of it in the family, but there was a bandstand down in Herne Bay, a really old-fashioned bandstand, and they used to play a little bit of music down there, and there was like skating sessions. My mum took me down here like in the 70s, and the story goes that they put these skates on me, and I'd never skated before, and I was gone.
Oh right, really?
Yeah, just ran straight across.
So who was your uncle?
Johnny Cook.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I
So
didn't know.
Yeah, he played for England at hockey. He played Portugal and Italy and all over really.
So when you started, was there a club in Herne Bay or?
I went to the pier, sort of on Saturday night or something, and I was only young, and Jimmy Lippitt was down there, and he said, "Why don't you come and have a go?" So I went and had a go, and I suppose the rest is history, isn't it?
Did you know Jim at that time?
Oh, I didn't know Jim. I just any sport. Yeah. I come from quite a sporting family where I've always been around sport. My dad was a good runner, a good cricketer, so sport was like second nature in the family.
So, because I think like in about '76, I suppose, when the club, because Jim had been like a British champion back in like the 50s.
That's right. Yeah.
And so when he and that was the old Herne Bay club, but he then set it back up as Herne Bay United in like the mid '70s. But was when you joined Herne Bay United, was the team already set up, or was it? Can you remember?
It was. We used to race in like woolen jumpers.
Yeah, I remember those,
knitted jumpers.
Yeah.
And it's probably not always the best thing in the summer, but yeah, it was like it was already set up. But I think it was more hockey that they were more sort of interested in. But there was a speed side to it.
Right.
And I think my first race was in Battersea Park.
Yeah, we had that conversation earlier because I didn't realise it was Battersea. So how did that come about? So '76. So Battersea was an international.
77.
77 was it?
Battersea, yeah.
So but how did that come about?
I don't know the international. I think the parents just said you've got a little race coming up in London.
Yeah.
And off I went, and I can remember the weather was most inclement.
Yeah.
And the Italians were there. I remember the name of a chap called Del Papa.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the great Cantarella was there or not.
No, it was Lovato was there,
right.
Del Papa, and I'm not sure if Marotta might have been there. I'm not sure now, but
Marotta.
Yeah, I think he might have been there. But yeah,
obviously I can't remember.
Yeah, because you'd have been a baby. You'd have been like 7 years of age.
I can remember the event though.
Yeah, but Battersea. Yeah, I mean, I only know from results. I don't remember that. I mean, I weren't skating back then, like, but
it was
know
absolutely pouring with rain.
Yeah.
And I had Blue Atlantic wheels. Blue Atlantics, and my actual skates had nuts on. There was no quick release. They were heavy as well.
So you started skating in '76, '77. So you started racing in '77. So I looked through the record books, and the first medal. Well, obviously you said you got something at Battersea, didn't you?
That was my first race.
That was your first race, and
I won that first race.
And then you started really racing proper, and like, can you remember who your main rivals were when you was a kid?
Yeah, Richard Hartley.
Yeah.
I think Tony Marriott's brother. I think.
Yeah, Paul Marriott.
Paul Marriott.
Yeah.
and I don't know whether Tony was actually racing then.
I think, I'm not sure. I think he was. He would have been racing about at the same time.
And
yeah,
Sean McGough.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Sean
Goffey,
McGough, yeah.
There is a picture of us,
So,
which I'll have to find.
well, I've got as well that there's a race that you won. I think it was on the pier in that year. And do you remember a guy called Ricky Parrott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His trainer was a chap called Bert McCaw.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that's what my dad told me.
Oh, right. Oh, oh, you know what? Just got it. Ricky Parrott.
He told me for weeks about his trainer was called Bert McCaw, and yeah.
Oh, well, I got. Well, so.
He told me he was dynamite.
Were you?
And I had to watch out for this Ricky Parrott.
Well, I got. Well, funny enough, you won on the pier, and Ricky was second. And
Yeah, because my grandmother was there. My very dear grandmother had to watch me.
Well, that day, it was the 13th of August, 1977, and the reason I know that is because it's my wedding anniversary.
Right.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
So it weren't back then, by the way, because I was only 10. But yeah, so that was your. I thought that was your first racing, but you reckon you went at Battersea.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So, do you remember racing on Southampton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was very small.
Yeah.
I didn't have an ounce of fat, not like nowadays.
Yeah.
I was, and I just got lost on a track that big, really.
Yeah. So
And Reading.
yeah, because 78 in Southampton. I know, because obviously Rowan was skating. Did Rowan start before you, by the way? Or did he start at the same
just
time?
a bit
Was
before,
he?
I think. Yeah.
'Cause he was a bit older than you.
Yeah.
But because the age groups for junior championships.
7 to 11, wasn't it?
7 to 11, and then like 12 to 16 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So there was only the two age groups back then. So from your perspective, I know you skated with Rowan in 78 at the junior championships, and I think Rowan won it. That's on Southampton.
I let him beat me.
Yeah, I think it was a close run thing, Ash. Yeah, but so Rowan won the championships on Southampton in 78, but you got your first championship medal in 79.
Right.
And you were second to Paul Turner.
Yeah.
And you was only 9, but you was only 9 at that time. So, but Paul was a bit older, I think.
I don't think he was much older than
He was
me.
much older, but did you start to get? I mean, I suppose it's too young, but I mean, I don't know. Did you start to get a flavour for the fact that you were starting to get good, and you know?
I'm not really. I didn't really.
I'm going to sit on the floor. Go on, Peter.
To be honest with you, it wasn't a matter about getting good. It's about getting into something and not losing.
Okay.
I didn't really enjoy anything that much.
Right.
Because I always put too much pressure on myself.
Okay.
And it was more about, I can't bear to lose.
Even at that age, you think that it was.
Yeah.
So
Not anything anyone had instilled in me.
Yeah.
But coming second to me was never really a joy. And I feel bad saying it.
Yeah.
But that is the truth of it.
Okay, that's interesting. So you skated as a junior, but so you say you started sort of 76, 77.
Yeah.
But you didn't win a British Championship as a junior until 1981.
Right.
And but it was the junior 500 metres on Reading. And I can tell you now, you probably, whether you remember it or not, but your first title, second was Oliver Mundy, and third was Kevin McCulley.
Right.
Do you remember that at all? You don't remember that?
I remember Reading.
Yeah, big
I
on
think that's
the
probably the year my brother won the senior. Was it?
81. No, he won in I think 82. I think he won the following. I think he won in 81. He might have done actually. No, it'd have been because he could have done because he was 15. He'd have been 15. He might have done. He might have actually won the 20k that year.
Yeah.
So, but what I want to know is that because right in like the early 80s, by now Herne Bay United was now Herne Bay Flyers.
Yeah.
And when I was just the other day thinking about all the people who skated for the team. So you've got lots of kids, the Burgesses, the Birches, Kevin Taunton, Ian Ashby, the McCulleys, the Jacksons, the Coxes, and of course the Harlows. What was it like being in a big team of?
That's some good vibrant people. It was always fun, and people getting together in the summer and going down the seaside, and yeah, it's just like mad really. And then all hell would break loose on the car park in the evening and training. And
So what was training like with that little lot? You know, it was
the
back in
training
then.
was like competitive, really competitive, but a little bit too. You know, I only want to do 500 metres really. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah. Well, that was it. So who used to take the training?
My dad would take the training.
Did he?
Yeah,
Did he take over from Jim?
yeah.
What was Jim's reason for giving up the training? Do you know back then?
I'm not really sure. I think he used to work a lot, work commitments. He'd get up early in the morning and probably some of that.
So was it a conscious decision by your old man to take the training, or was it just developing?
I just think that the training really wasn't sort of pushing on, and there was a lot of talent in that club.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Ian Ashby, rapid.
Yeah, he
There's
was
a lot
very
of
quick.
good-
Yeah.
A lot of quick people.
Unofficial world record holder.
A lot of strong people.
Yeah.
Quinny.
Yeah.
John Quinny turned his hand to anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
John, my mum was saying he don't look much like an athlete.
No, not
But
these
no,
days.
No, but not even then.
Yeah.
But straight away he was like, he's
Yeah.
great at whatever he does.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jacko, he was in the team as well, the national
Yeah.
team.
John was small, and you know.
Yeah.
David Jackson, good athlete. It was some, it's good people.
And you say, so was it a good vibe? Was there any needle between people back
It's
then?
competitive, really competitive.
Really?
Yeah.
So was there some inter-club rivalry, or? You know?
Yeah, I think that's with every club.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about from
I
a
probably
social?
won't dwell on that too much. All that.
No. Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but was there a social side as well?
No, I think we'd really turn up at the car park and
Really?
knock 10 ton out of each other and.
Did you then go on a coach to Margate and stuff like that then?
No. We'd be on a coach to Granby also.
Oh yeah. Granby Halls.
I hated school,
Yeah.
so I always used to pray that the coach would break down.
Really?
Yeah, so I didn't have to go to school the next day. And once it did, only once, but that was great.
Yeah.
I said to my mum, I'm not going to be able to make it tomorrow.
So there was Herne Bay was like a really I just remember as a kid like Herne Bay, because I used to come down to the car park and like you'd have your races and then we'd go off either down the front on the arcades, or for some reason I got this idea that there used to be like a big tip or bin or something over by the Safeway or I can't remember. Just as kids we was always in some trouble or coming back stinking of stuff or whatever but
that's quite likely.
Well, probably, certainly in Herne Bay, but round about 1983, it was 1983, you make the junior team for Nantes.
That's right, yeah.
So what was the build up to that like, and how did you find out that you'd been selected?
I can't actually remember. I can remember getting the badge, the fried egg.
Yeah, fried egg, yeah.
And it's quite exciting, isn't it? And you get your blazer.
Yeah,
and your grey trousers.
Yeah, that's it.
And I can also remember drinking wine in Nantes Town Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So 83, so where would you have been? You'd have been 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in at the deep end, really.
Yeah.
The road was up and down road.
Yeah.
The track, I think I got a 4th in one of the events.
Yeah, so you did. So you got a 5th in the 500 on the road. And
on the road,
on the road you got a 5th, and on the track you got 4th in the 3000.
Oh, I thought 3,000.
3,000 metres.
Good job, John.
Mate, that's my job.
Yeah.
So I wish I got paid for it, but but what do you remember from Nantes? What was the team? The team like? Because you've got people like Newton, you got Suzanne was in the team.
Yeah, and Doggett and.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all quite close, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I was more interested in the other teams because there were some great athletes. Antonio Luca.
Yeah.
So, there were some good people in some top athletes.
So how would you describe, it's not an unfair question, but because you was obviously like a new kid on the block and you've done 83, so it's your first time in an international. You've obviously skated international events of like in Belgium or France.
Yeah,
or
I'd
wherever.
skated a lot in France and Belgium.
Yeah.
And it's a big event. You turn up there in the photo finish and it's a bit different than people just looking at the line. But I'd be nervous for any event.
Did you get nervous? Did you?
Yeah, I could ride from my hometown 200 miles and not speak to anyone all the way there.
Really?
Till all the race was finished.
And is that what every race like?
Yeah, pretty much.
Birmingham or Granby or
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Really?
That's nothing anyone's ever, instilled into me. But I would.
But how did you overcome that?
I don't feel I ever did that much, really.
Did you really? Did you always feel like, when you stood on the line, did it like when the gun went, it just went out the window, or was you still nervous? Was you
no,
nervous
once
in the
the gun went, the worst thing was being on the line sort of in Belgium or France and I couldn't understand what anyone was saying.
Yeah.
In Italy.
And same in Birmingham, I suppose, but yeah.
I think it's alla potenza, la linea, por favore, I think they say. And then I'd start sort of... Yeah, so I'd be in a bad place before the start. But I think probably... Yeah, my dog's growling.
Yeah, dog's growling.
But I think probably I use that to my advantage, to be honest. I didn't take anything lightly.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of enjoyment, is there? When it was all over...
So did you so you're doing the Junior European, but did you look? All right. Capture for posterity.
Yeah.
All hell's broke loose with the dogs. He's all right. That's all right. It's part of it. But did you get? So you went to the Junior European. So when you got your fourth and your fifth, did you suddenly feel like you were? Did you expect to be mixing it at that level, or did you think, wow, bloody hell, I can do this, or what?
I think when you get a fourth, you probably think next year you could come back a little bit bigger and stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
The road course was probably not really designed for me. If that had been more of a Finale Emilia, or something like that, I think I would have probably done better.
Do you think you suited the smoother circuits? Did you?
Yeah, I think I'd have been better on it, smoother.
And did you? And I know, we'll come on to 84 and Birmingham and all that, and you did all right in the distances as well. But even at that stage, did you think of yourself as a sprinter? Because in my mind, I always think of Ashley Harlow as the sprinter. But did you consider yourself a sprinter, or did you think of an all-rounder, or what's how,
I just put myself on the line, really.
Yeah, right.
And see what happened.
Okay.
But my preference was always for the shorter distances.
Right. Okay. All right. So like I said, you've done 83. You got your fourth and your fifth. So and I'm guessing it must have dawned on you actually. I'm actually not too bad.
Yeah. No. I thought I was not doing too bad, to be honest. And I'd raced against quite a lot of the other participants in Ostend over the years. I've been there for years.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I knew
that young
Belgium,
age,
so I did know a lot of the people.
Yeah.
And I knew I could be competitive against
them.
Quite a lot of them, yeah.
Because you'd raced in the.
I knew their ways, and I knew who to follow, and who would be thereabouts at the final bell.
So when you were training back to your training for a bit, did like the club used to train, but did you ever go off and do your own thing as well?
Yeah, I would train on the road.
Okay. What, you and Rowan?
In front of the car.
Yeah. Okay.
Out in the country, but that was not really my thing.
Really?
I didn't really train properly.
Right.
I wouldn't say that I've really trained that hard.
So was Rowan different to you in that respect?
Yeah, he was a machine.
Really?
Yeah, he'd get in front of the car and he'd pound out 20 mile in an evening. Flat, really flying.
But he must have, because his own abilities, because he, obviously he's an elite athlete at that time, a couple of years older. Having him as a brother and a training partner must have really helped you along.
Yeah, I never used to train with him, really.
Really?
I never raced, I couldn't have kept up with him on the roads.
Really? Yeah.
But we put the Veriflex on and just
I
didn't want to be doing that. I was always for the pursuit of the pleasure over the pain.
He'll be chuffed to hear that.
Yeah, no, he was a machine. He'd run. We'd go somewhere and he'd say, "I'm going to run home," and he'd run home like 15 mile or something. So people say, "Oh, he was all this and all that." He was one dedicated. And and a good athlete. At school, he broke all the running records and that. I say the family are quite
sporty.
sporty.
I mean, I will pick up with Rowan, obviously, on an individual basis. So I've got to ask you, and whether you remember this or not, right? So.
God, it sounds bad.
No. So you've come back from Nantes, right? So you've got a fourth and you've got a fifth, and you really are the dogs in terms of now the junior, But then like a week or two later, the junior British Championships are on Reading, the 500 metres.
Yeah.
And you dog it beats you.
Really?
Yeah. So sorry, Huey, if you're watching this, mate. No slur, but what happened?
Well, the main event was a couple of weeks earlier, wasn't it?
Ah, okay. Interesting.
It's all about peaking, old chap.
Oh, okay. So you don't remember that though, no?
I don't really remember, but
right.
I'd just sooner have had a fourth.
Right. Well.
I obviously wanted to win anyway, but.
Well,
fair play to him.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know he never won a senior title. I think that might be his only junior title as well. I think I'm not sure. But he was a strong old boy. I like you. He had a lot of time for you. But the following week after that, then is the time trial at Tatum Park. It's the first time that the juniors have ever done a 300 metres, and you are the only person. You win it, 29.76 seconds.
Right.
But you're the only person to go sub 30. It's the only junior skate to go sub 30 on that day. So, but again, I mean, the photos I see of you, like in action as a sprinter, you can see that the power, the speed is there. So even at that early age, by now, as I said, you're 13, not even 14 yet. But you've gone sub 30 for a 300 is no mean feat. But again, you don't remember that, or.
I do remember the time trial.
Do you?
Yeah. I do remember that.
And
because I thought I'm probably not going to get disqualified in this.
Bet anyone.
Or pushed. or banned.
Even at 13.
Yeah.
Well, when you get to 14, 1984, I think I always think like Tony Marriott. If there's a year that defines him, it's 1991. As an elite skater. If there's a year that defines my dad, it's 1975. So if there's an Ashley Harlow year, it's got to be 1984.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad year.
It was not. Absolutely wasn't a bad year. So some stats. So in June, you retain your junior time trial title as a in the British Championships, and you're 1.5 seconds faster than your nearest rival. Yeah, and the other thing is,
how did that equate to the men's time?
Well, here's the thing. Do you know that, right? That would have got you silver in the senior men's at 14. So you're 14, and the only person who was faster than you on the day?
Go on.
My old man.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
So it was on Birmingham wheels.
Right.
We were racing Birmingham wheels for the first time in the run up to the Junior Europeans.
What was the time compared to the European Championship?
You went faster in the Euros.
Oh, good.
You went faster in the. Oh, I'm going to come to that. So you were 1.5 seconds faster than your nearest junior rival on Birmingham wheels. Yeah. And had you been at 14, had you been a senior, you would have been second to the old man in the time trial. I think as it was, I think Ashby was second. I think Rowan was third.
Right.
From memory.
Yeah.
I think it was. But 1984, you're 14, absolutely. In the June, you're on fire. I mean, but do you remember that event? Because it was all muddy at wheels at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't finished off, was it?
No, it weren't finished.
To be fair, I'd spent a bit of time up there.
Had you?
Prior to all of it, it's a few run-outs and training and that.
Mm.
But a bit of a changing point with this. They said to me at school that I didn't have to go in because I was on study leave.
Right.
Before the European Championships.
Yeah.
And I thought, there's only one thing I need to study. And I did actually train a little bit.
And did you went up to wheels, did you?
No, I got on my bike.
Okay.
Done a few miles on my bike and that. It was a bit out of character really. But I did a bit of training.
In the build up to it?
Yeah. So I did train.
Do you think that the home advantage, did you think that would have a part to play, or Was
I
it
didn't know really whether it would,
did it
but
cross
when
your
I
mind?
look back on it now,
Yeah,
and I know that when you go to Italy
yeah,
and compete,
yeah,
or Spain, things are stacked against you, and you know,
yeah,
things are more difficult when you're in a different environment. Sometimes you go abroad and you feel a bit groggy. Don't know whether it's food, climatic conditions, certainly the heat when you go abroad. But on my last training session before I went to the Junior Euros in '84, it was just starting to get dark, and I was in front of the car. This must have been, I don't know when it actually started, but I was in front of the car and I was going pretty well. And right across the sky went the biggest shooting star you've ever seen.
right.
And I said to my dad, I think we're going to be alright. Yeah, that shot across the sky. This was right out in the country, no cars, quite decent roads, a bit rough, but yeah.
And you saw that as a sign, did you?
Yeah, I thought I'd have some of that.
Are you superstitious?
Yeah, very. I was back then.
Was you really?
Yeah.
Did you have any superstitions? Did you wear like odd socks or your pants inside out or something like that? Or
I always wore pants inside out, stop my ghoulies getting chafed when I go around the corners.
did you have anything like that? I mean, did you?
Yeah, I
Did
used
you
to
do?
carry a marble with me some days.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was that for?
Don't know, just superstitious.
But where's the marble come from?
Don't know.
Really?
Yeah, that was when I was a lot younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just don't know.
But you didn't have any like superstitions like later when you're skating. You didn't like put a black lace in and a white lace in.
No, I didn't do any of that. As I got older, a lot of that died out. I didn't
Right.
really worry so much, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah, marble. Oh yeah, yeah. That'd have been handy if you'd have fell on that.
Yeah,
mate,
that would
yeah.
have hurt.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what you do when you're like 7 or 8, innit?
Lose your marbles.
Yeah. Oh, I lost them all right.
Yeah. So we come to the Junior Europeans. So the build up to we've done the British Championships at Wheels, and I think Ashby broke his arm in the champs that weekend.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think from memory. But anyway, but so did it, and it was all muddy and stuff. And then just a few weeks later, they'd laid the grass and it looked
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's like a different.
But we went to Sutton Coldfield first for the road,
Oh, that was like.
which was round the car park.
Yeah, when I went out, they first took me to the track. It's a disaster.
And so, which is interesting. So, when was the first time you skated on Sutton Coldfield? Was
Same time as everyone else.
when it was all
Never
laid out
been
as a
there.
track.
Never
Never
been
been
there.
there, and so
No.
it was laid out as a track. So, yeah. So, what did you think of Sutton Coldfield? What did you think of that road?
I turned up there and I said, "Who on earth thought this would be a good idea
Yeah.
to stage an event like this?"
Yeah. I'd go in.
Yeah, it's like a donkey track. But I mean, it turned out all right in the end. But
Yeah,
I took
well.
one look at it and I just thought, do you know,
Yeah, 'cause I think you were either on the. I know in the time trial you were either fourth or fifth. I can't remember. I think I might have been fourth in the time trial on Sutton Coldfield.
I thought I may have been third, I think.
No, you
Fourth.
weren't. You didn't get a medal in the time trial.
Right.
But what you did do is in the 10k on the same day, is you were second. So I think Heightons and the Italian first and second, and you were third, and then Heightons got declassified in the. This is the 10k. So you took your medal. You took your first medal was a silver in the 10k.
My first was a gold
No.
in the 500.
No.
The 500 was before them, wasn't it?
No.
You sure?
I know so. It was the next day, the 500.
Was it?
Yeah, because what they did do, I'm sure, they run the heats for the 500 on the first day, and the second day was the semis and the final.
Oh, okay.
So, but and then
I thought the first time I was on the rostrum was for
no,
the 500.
No, it was the 10k.
Oh,
you
that's
won.
interesting.
Yeah, you got silver in the 10k because you were third across the line, and Heightons got declassified one
Right.
place, and they put a big protest in for whatever he'd done. And then in the 500, you're second across the line in the 500, and
Yeah, I remember that very well.
yeah,
Because someone came by me
yeah,
so quick, it was absolutely unbelievable.
yeah, Bar I think it was. Yeah,
No, he was
he got the
he-
relay push from
Ferenzi Barini, was it?
Camporese.
That was a 3000 Camporese.
Was it?
Manuel Camporese.
I know there was a relay push.
Ferenzi Barini
Right.
was pushed by Paolo Bonbon, I think.
Right. But he come
and he
past
was a
you.
big guy.
Yeah.
I think he could have pushed someone pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, he did come past you
Yeah.
all the way to nuts, and he crossed the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a big hoo-ha, and he was declassified, and you were pronounced the winner.
Yeah.
What was that like when they said Ashley Harlow European champion?
I think like a pressure goes.
Okay.
No one put any pressure on me.
Yeah.
But it's like all the no talking to anyone and all that sort of thing before the start, and all that sort of dissolves when you've actually proved that you can do it.
Yeah.
I had disbelief that someone had gone by me because I was approaching the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably seen it better than me. And then someone comes by, you think, oh my God, where did he come from?
Yeah.
I mean, if he come by me that quick, that's a top athlete.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was all over and I wasn't stopping on the line or anything. And he come by, and then when I found out what had happened, that was quite a comfort, really.
So
because that could knock your confidence a bit.
Where was you when it was announced? Because obviously it wouldn't have been announced straight away because they were going to the judges because of the relay push and all that. So was you with your mum and dad or what?
Oh, I can't remember the
But your dad must have been super happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you become our first ever junior European champion.
Yeah, I think it was between me and Smithy because she was going to definitely do it.
Yeah. She was on fire as well that weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But and do you remember the rostrum? Do you remember the national anthem?
I can remember. Yeah, I can remember being on the rostrum and that.
Yeah,
it's good times really.
So suddenly Sutton Coldfield weren't such a bad track after all.
I thought I'd have done better on a smoother track.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So
it was hard going for me.
Yeah, on that road.
Yeah, that was hard going.
Yeah.
It was
a bit of a goat track.
Yeah, there was no. I think it played it into the Belgians' hands.
Yeah.
Maybe the French as well.
Yeah.
Walter Haytons, he must have been.
He's a strong old boy. Yeah.
Good old boy, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was really thought out that well for us.
Okay.
Maybe they've,
I don't know why it was selected or who selected it or how that came about. But
I remember turning up there and say, "You must be joking."
Yeah. It was a tough old track.
Yeah.
It looked it around the car park.
I think for Smithy.
Yeah.
That's probably because she was strong.
Yeah, just as strong
as anything.
Yeah.
So probably I've probably been a bit selfish really, but I wouldn't have chosen that for myself.
It might have been my dad, but I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I don't think it was.
I don't know. I'm sure he'll tell me when I get to interview him about how that came about. But so in the 3000, Camporese does beat you.
Yeah.
By 1/100th of a second.
If you watch the video back, I'm miles back in that.
Yeah.
Because I'd won already.
Yeah.
And we was chatting and said give Goffey a lead out, try and help Goffey.
All right. Okay.
And we were way back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we might have been cut up or something, but we ended up back.
Yeah.
And I didn't make a dash till late in the race.
So he just got you on the line.
Yeah, actually, I've not watched that back,
mm-hmm.
but I know that I've come from way back in that one.
When you think back to how you was and your abilities and your and then you got in the team was Newt, Tony, Sean. You at that time were obviously head and shoulders above them at that particular moment in time. Did you honestly think that by leading Sean out he would do something, he could get something, or was it just a case of I've got one, I'm gonna?
I thought he could have.
You think so?
Yeah, I thought he could. It's good. Sean could have latched on and could have dragged him through.
Okay.
I think that could have been on.
Okay. So you've got yourself so on the road then you've got a gold and 2 silvers.
Right.
Okay. Your confidence must be pretty high now going to Birmingham Wheels.
Yeah, I was happy to go to the track. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, but Birmingham Wheels. You'd done a time a couple of weeks before that would have seen you silver in the senior men's. you must have thought, this is where I'm at.
I didn't feel jaded by the road.
Really?
I think probably if you've had a bit of success, I think it's probably easier than if you're still trying to sniff a medal out.
The first one's the hardest one.
I think then the pressure builds up on you, doesn't it? So I was in a good position.
So you get to the track. You must have done some training days before but you now think was the Italians the same team? It weren't.
No, different team.
Different team.
Yeah.
But you won overall on the road actually, didn't you? You were first overall on the road.
I don't know.
Yeah, you was. Did you do the relay?
There was no relay.
On the road there was a relay.
It was a relay, but it wasn't recognised.
Yeah, it was a recognised event, but I don't think he was in. I think it was Tony, Sean, and.
Yeah, I think they did well in that, didn't they?
Yeah, come third.
Yeah.
But I think.
But there was there was no medals or anything.
No, it was just they.
Yeah, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, I mean back then. I mean it's different now, but
yeah.
Back then. But all right. So anyway, so right. So you've got first over on the road.
Yeah.
You've come to the track. This track, freshly laid. You've blitzed the junior British championships.
Still trying wheels before the start of the race.
What wheels did you use?
I used something that you wouldn't believe.
Go on.
You wouldn't even think about using them on there. Black Magics.
What, on wheels?
Yeah, with a gold core.
I'm surprised you could even push them round.
Honestly, I put them on and they'd not worked previously. I tried every combination and they just rolled away.
Even the distances?
No, I didn't use them in the distance.
Oh, you just used them for the sprints?
Yeah.
Because you'd hold the track with them.
You could hold the track, but they rolled.
Yeah?
Yeah, they really went. They were no good a few weeks earlier. I don't know whether the urethane had settled down where they'd been turned or whatever. But thanks to Mick McGough for that, because he lent them to me.
Yeah.
And we tried them. No one else used them.
Yeah.
But I put them on and they just rolled away. And they shouldn't have done.
They were your wheels, were they? So
no, they were Mick McGough's.
Were they Goffies, were
they?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Magics. I wouldn't have called that one. Definitely wouldn't have called that
no.
one. But because I didn't think you usually use your Black Magics on a slippery track. I wouldn't have put wheels as a slippery track.
No, it wasn't slippery.
But
they rolled like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Well, I didn't know. I'm shocked, genuinely shocked at that, Ash.
Yeah.
If I'm honest,
yeah.
I would never have called that. I don't think I ever used Black Magics on Birmingham wheels.
If you tried that set, I don't know what was wrong with them.
Well, the only thing was it wouldn't have made much difference to me because I couldn't get a second gear in a sprint. So you come to the track. So the first event's the time trial.
Yeah.
And you are the first ever skater to go under 30 seconds on there. At 14. Yeah, 14. You're sub 30.
Oh, I didn't know that.
300 metres on Birmingham wheels. First one to that. And so you take that and win a title. I mean, I always think about if you are the fastest person on a circuit, if you're in the other distances and in with a sniff, you know that you're in with a shout to winning one.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So winning the time trial must have been quite.
It was quite nerve wracking because Marco Giannini was.
He bombed out, didn't he?
Was on after me.
Yeah.
And I think he was going quite quick. He was going that quick. He went off the track.
He went off, but he bombed out.
Yeah, he went off on the top bend.
Do you think the pressure got to him because he saw the time you'd posted?
I don't know.
Because you think about it, I suppose if I bet
I don't know. He was a good athlete and he was flying, so you just don't know, do you?
Can't skate a track, can he, that boy? Okay, yeah. Well, Giannini, he went on to be a multiple world champion.
Yeah.
You beat him.
Yeah.
So the time trial must have been pretty. I mean, to win the time trial must have been pretty smoky. You must have really enjoyed that one.
Same thing again. Yeah. When you're up against 3 other athletes from the same country, I thought I'd probably be there on my own. In the other distances, there's plenty of chances to sacrifice one of them to chuck you on the grass verge.
Yeah.
It's a pure event of 300.
Yeah.
You ain't going to get pushed over, or it's completely down to you.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of comfort.
So you got the 300, and then you go and win the 500.
Yeah, that was a nice feeling. That was.
Was that better than the 300?
It's on the same wheels again.
Was it Black Magic?
Yeah.
Was it
same again? Yeah.
That's the 500 on your DVD cover, yeah.
Yeah. It's Canucci,
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Magics.
I remember watching that. I remember.
I think you're in one of the pictures.
Well, probably in one of the pictures, yeah. But so yeah, I never twigged it was the Black Magics. But so I suppose, is it a different feeling winning a race to winning a time trial, or I mean, you've won a time trial, you're against the clock, then you're up against skaters where there's different factors at play now.
I just thought get in the front.
Yeah.
Just get in the front, just hold your line.
Yeah.
Don't go off. Well, I mean, 500 metres, you can go off quick anyway.
Yeah.
I thought if you hold a good line, someone's got to go really quick to come by you.
Yeah.
To be fair.
But you must have felt pretty invincible at that point.
I don't know, really. I was always, you always date yourself at 14, don't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, but you're like...
I didn't have anything to lose, did I?
No, I suppose.
I wasn't going to go away empty-handed.
Yeah.
So...
So you won't know this. So there's only 2 British skaters who've won more than 2 gold medals at a single European Championships.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. One of them's Bill Ross.
Right.
In 1936. And the other one's you.
Okay.
But incidentally, Bill Ross never won a British title. He was a world champion as well, but he never won.
Settled for that.
But he never won, and he never won a British title.
Didn't he?
Never won a British title, and yet was world and European champion.
He knew how to do it, didn't he?
There you go. So when you got these golds, you got 3 gongs now, 3 gold gongs in your back pocket. How did you celebrate? Did you celebrate? Was it really?
Oh yeah, dear old Henry.
Yeah.
He gave us a bottle of Asti.
Did he?
Yeah.
Good old Henry.
Yeah, that was kind of him. That was. I liked it.
Yeah. Henry.
So we had a little swig of that.
Yeah.
And go again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I remember. See, I remember the 300 and the 500, and I mean, I'd have been 84. So in 84, I'd have been 17. Right, and I'm watching it, and if I'm honest, I just expected it to wipe up. I just expected to win every event. Every I thought 300 metres, 500 metres. I thought this guy he's just gonna go into every event and just blitz it. And I was really disappointed. But yeah, I was really disappointed with the fact that you never got the gold medal out of it. But I just always remember.
It's more the distance events, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Against other teams,
yeah.
They've probably got 3 people.
Yeah. So, but you're talking about the celebration. But when did the achievements of what you've done sink in?
Oh, people were giving me cards and stuff from home.
Really?
Yeah, people cards and stuff. People were really kind, to be honest.
Yeah. And did it sink in?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's only sport, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a serious business when you're doing it, but in the grand scheme of things. But I was pleased. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there can only be one winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you, when you went back to school, was it like big celebrations? Were they?
No, no one was interested.
Really?
No, no one said anything.
So you went back to school. I'm junior European champion. Nobody gave a monkeys.
Nah.
Really? None of the teachers?
Nah.
So what about your teammates? What about Herne Bay Flyers?
Oh yeah, they were all good. Really nice. Yeah.
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 Do you think they expected you to win?
I don't know. You don't know how people perceive you, really.
Because you're only 14.
Yeah, you just don't know, do you? I didn't go there to come. I wanted to go there and win, and that was the be all and end all at that time.
Yeah.
But don't know. I didn't. I thought of little else before, and I did do a bit of training for that event.
Did you expect to win? Or
I always expected to win.
Did you?
Yeah, and that's why I was always pissed off if I didn't. But I was never funny. But I always wanted to win.
Yeah,
and I still do if I do anything now.
Yeah, but there's a difference between wanting to win and expecting to win. Like I said, there comes a point when you know that actually, like I said, you did the junior Europeans in '83 and was 4th and 5th, but now you're
I probably thought that I could sort of. I wasn't going to be an also ran.
Yeah.
There was a chance that I could sort of turn that into a better position. Year older, year stronger, year wiser. Okay. And I'd raced all over Europe.
Yeah.
Been all over. I'd raced a lot of different people. It's normally thereabouts at the end.
Okay.
Had a little bit of savvy with racing.
So, well, in '85, so the following year now, you elect to skate senior.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, I think if I look in my records, I have got the letter that your dad wrote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got the letter that says we want Ashley to race as a senior. I'm sure I've got it somewhere, and I know I've certainly seen it in the minutes of the Roller Speed Committee at the time. But how did that come about? How did you decide? Because I know Rowan had done it, hadn't he? Rowan had done it.
I think, to be honest with you, where I was going to sort of other championships, it would have been more difficult to get into the senior team.
Right.
If I was still in the junior sector, probably opened a few doors, and going to Pamplona as well, racing against the likes of your dad and people like that was probably a good thing to do.
Whose idea was it? Was it you or your dad's or your brothers, or who decided? Did you ask, or was you said, what about this, Ash? Can you remember how it came about?
I think it was what do you think?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll
give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go. There's nothing to lose, really.
So, do you remember your first senior race?
Yeah.
Where was it?
I don't know where it was, but I drew up against my good friend Mr. Malone, and I thought he's going to whack me or something. So I whacked him really hard first.
Well, actually, right, the race was at Somerset Road, the school playground. Remember that?
Yeah.
In North London.
Yeah, I did win that, I think.
And you won it.
Yeah.
You won your first senior race on it. Yeah, I know.
So against Down Cobley, it was.
It could have been, I don't know. So, and I think.
Yeah, I didn't know it was there.
Yeah, it was a 1500, I think.
I remember looking at it and thinking I was sooner be doing a motorbike training beforehand. They used to do motorbike training.
That's right. Yeah,
for the race.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you did bikes.
Yeah.
But so, again, I know it's a long time ago, but do you remember the fact that you won your first senior race? Was it something that struck you as a, I won my first senior event?
No.
Not
really.
Because I don't know if there were category racing back then, I don't think. 1985.
I don't know.
It was seniors and juniors. So it was like, so it was a bona fide senior, senior event. Right. And so and then you actually get in the junior team as well, again for 85. So and you go, and you go to Pamplona, and you get a couple of bronze medals in Pamplona.
Yeah.
But compared to the previous year, 2 bronze medals, not bad. But in 84, what happened?
I think it's what you said earlier, being away from the UK.
Right.
The heat.
Yeah.
I mean, when we was in Birmingham, our Italian friends were all in their jackets.
Yeah, because it was. I remember it was raining. It was
raining.
I remember.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So you think that the climate, the food.
The climate, yeah.
Okay. All right. But 2 bronze. I mean, 2 bronze medals though. So, I mean, it ain't bad. People give the
it is
right
bad when you want more.
Yeah, but was you? Can you remember being disappointed, or was you just happy with your lot, or just
no? I was disappointed with that.
Was you?
Yeah, I expected to have done better, but the heat, and I did feel a bit lethargic really. I think just the heat.
I think Debbie Kitchener got a medal there as well.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think she did.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So, but then you come back from there, and then in July, and you win the 5,000 metre British Championship on Birmingham wheels.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The funny, and what's really interesting is that was Darren Cobley's last race.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. He walked away from the sport.
Right.
You won, and he quit.
Right.
Which is really interesting, really, because I mean, there was lots of other things going on with Cobley at the time, anyway. And he did switch clubs from, New City to Mercia to Palace to, you know what I mean. So, but
I think he was Palace at the time.
He was Palace, yeah, and but you're just 15. I mean, that must have been the ice on the cake for Cobley. He'd never won Cobley never won a British Championship.
Right.
He never won one.
He's a good athlete.
Oh, bloody hell! In 1984 at the Euros in Vienna, nobody's won more medals at a championships than Cobley in a single championships, and yet he never won a British Championship.
It's bizarre, and it's like the gentleman you was on about
Bill Ross, just like that. But do you remember winning the 5,000? Because that had been your first British title. So you're only 15, right? You're only 15. In actual fact,
that's after Pamplona, isn't it?
Yeah. You come back from Pamplona.
Yeah, I got smashed up in Pamplona.
Did you?
Yeah, spent a few nights in the hospital.
What happened there then?
I was in one of the longer races.
Right.
Portuguese people fell over in front of me, and I went right over the top, and I got knocked out stone cold.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't compete in some of the events at the end.
Is that track or road?
Track.
Right.
The road was first, and then the track.
Okay.
But yeah, I felt pretty groggy.
Right.
They put me in a corridor and they was pushing people by that were deceased. And I didn't want to race after that.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't have done it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, not for it.
So I didn't. No, I just lost my way a bit.
But you didn't lose your way in the July when you come back and you
No,
get
I was
to
alright after that. I think.
Birmingham Wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some photos of that event. You know, but yeah, and you just so by winning that British title, by the way, that makes you now the youngest ever senior British champion.
What still?
Senior men's British champion.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, not ladies, because Chanel Moore was 14 when she won hers.
Right.
You were 15 years, 191 days old.
191.
191 days old when you win it, right? 15 years, 191 days old, and you become the youngest ever senior British champion, and still are senior British men's champion. I should say you still are. There's nobody who's ever won a senior title that's been younger than you.
I better try and find the old medal for that.
So the other thing is we know whose record you beat, don't you?
My brother's.
Yeah, by 43 days.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah.
That's.
He must be gutted.
Yeah, I do remind him of stuff like
do
that.
you good? Yeah, because
being the runt of the litter.
I was going to say he calls you the runt of the litter, so
yeah.
I think it's fair to remind him of the fact that he's the second youngest.
But to be fair, he did help me in the race.
In the 5K, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there in that race.
Talk me through the 5K. Can you remember it?
It's John. I can't remember. I can remember what I had for dinner.
Yeah.
Because it was delightful.
Yeah.
But
it was lovely. Thank you very much, Julie. And the pudding. So, but he helped you a lot. You know that.
Do you know what? If I watch races,
yeah,
it's like I'm a spectator. I don't know what's going to happen.
Really?
Because I think when you're in it, you don't actually know. You can't. It's a difficult one. I can't recall one race from another.
Really?
I can from the European Championships at Birmingham. I can relive those. I know those races. But some of the other stuff I can't.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just like watching strangers on the thing. What, that really happened?
Well, what is also interesting is that you've done the Junior European Championships in Pamplona.
Yeah.
You've come back. You've won the 5K senior men's title. By which time you're already so when you were selected to race junior, he was already racing senior in the UK.
Yeah.
And then they said, right, okay, we're going to put you in the team for Cassano Dada for 85 as well in the senior team, and in the team is a comeback king.
Oh yeah, my mate Mr. Mullane.
Johnny Mullane in his Millets t-shirt, you know, and so he comes back and he's in the team with you, and so. I mean, I think in hindsight, if I was to talk to Mullane, I think he says I shouldn't have gone to that.
Oh, he should have gone. He was great.
Yeah. I think for the skating abilities, yeah. But the big event, really. I mean, you didn't set the world alight.
No, but you couldn't really be expected to because
some real big names,
some great athletes there.
Absolutely fantastic, you know. And now you're with the big boys, really, as well.
Yeah.
But
I have got a ton of speed though, John.
Oh well, tell me about the relay that never was.
The relay that never was.
Yeah.
It's me, your dad, and Andy Newton.
Yeah.
There seemed to be some mix-up with the lap board, and I think Mutzi, that's my Mutzi, was left on for an extra lap.
Yeah.
The fact that I got on for the lap probably tells you that I wasn't finishing anyway.
Yeah.
Which probably is a bizarre because I was the quickest out of.
So you wouldn't have been on to finish, would
No.
you? Who pushed you? Was it Dad?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have been on to finish.
So Featon was the man.
Yeah.
So he'd have put the old man on to finish.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Which everybody, you'd have said it'd have been you. Should have been you.
I don't know.
In my
Your
mind,
dad's got it up here.
Yeah,
but by then his legs were not as
young as they used to
young as they were.
Yeah.
I mean, a few years previously, he'd have always been on before. It's probably the safer option on it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about the fact that you did the lap, because how the relay unfolded from my understanding was that the French
Fell over.
fell over. There was 4 teams. There was the Italians, the French, the Germans, and you boys, really in contention. And the Germans and the Italians are going to, when the French fell,
Yeah, they put the pressure on.
the Germans and the Italians went away. And when they come round to finish, Mozzi got the beating of, I think it might have been Big Harold, but I don't remember who the German was. But they come to the line, and the bell rang. Now,
And then they looked up.
so they looked up, which left them on for another lap, because they came across the line as the bell rang.
Yeah.
So they had to do another lap. But because you and the French were so far behind, that meant you'd got time to come and make a changeover.
Yeah.
So you run in, the old man pushed you, but you can't remember. Because if you was on to finish, theoretically, you wouldn't have done. You'd be correct.
I wasn't on to finish.
So you wasn't on to finish. So you knew. So you heard the bell and running,
Yeah.
and that's what it was. You thought, there's another lap. I've got to come in.
Yeah.
So the old man pushed you.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I was on 70mm wheels. They were like 99 short,
Right.
and they were massive.
Yeah.
And for the first few laps, till they got a bit of heat in them, it was a job to stand up. But once they were rolling, especially with a push,
Yeah. So you come on to Mutzi and the German, because
Yeah.
the French, they pick themselves up, but you must have come on to them at a fair old rate of
I
knots.
was flying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could see them in the distance. I went right round the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you crossed the line, what do you think?
The old man come over. It's just like, it's like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. I didn't know quite what had happened, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it must have been really like, it must have been quite euphoric for
Yeah, I remember going over the line, the old arms in the air, and that was just like,
Yeah.
I think that's the fastest I ever went.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, for that lap.
yeah, definitely.
Mutzi must have been gutted as he crossed that line.
I
And
don't
the
know, you
Italian.
have to ask him.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
But it doesn't matter, nothing happened in the history book.
So how did you find out that then they made the race void?
There was a bit of a commotion
Yeah.
amongst the crowd, because the crowd seemed quite happy,
Right.
because the Italians had dominated everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Italians are always good spectators. They like a
About
good event, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but these cars turned up, and these chaps in some pretty nice suits.
No. I weren't there.
Right. These cars turned up, and these swarthy blokes with like
Yeah.
good haircuts and that. And next thing, all the crowd were going home.
Uh-huh.
Everyone was gone, and that was it. It was just null and void.
So when you crossed the line, did you genuinely think you'd won, or did you know there'd been a cock up?
I didn't. I just went to the bell. We just went for what was what. We didn't know quite what had happened.
And but did suddenly people start saying, it's this ain't going to stand, or what, very quickly, or was it later, or what? Do you remember how you found out?
Pat come running over,
Yeah.
and your dad and me and Andy, we were just like, I remember your dad say, lap this up, he said, come on, we went round, the three of us.
Milk it.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, no, because he said exactly the same when we won in '88.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Milk it.
Yeah,
Milk
that's
it.
exact words actually, yeah.
Milk it.
But yeah, it's good memories.
Yeah.
But I mean, if all that ball's wrong, that ball's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you shrug your shoulders, or was it a sense of disappointment, or do you ever look back on it and think they're wrong?
Not really, because it was wrong.
Yeah.
And if they'd been on for the right amount of laps,
Yeah.
it would have been a normal.
It'd been
normal
you'd have come
finish,
fourth
a
or
normal
third or fourth.
procession, and that would have been
I
it.
think you were due for a medal anyway, because the French fell, so you'd have got a bronze out of it. But yeah, that's really interesting. That's just it's sad, because I always think about the one that got away.
But that's the quickest I've ever been.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think the German was Harold even.
No, I don't know. I can't remember who it was. I'd have to check who it was. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. So, anyway, right. I'm going to pause. I'm going to change my tape.
Okay, John.
We've just done Casino Dada and the relay that never was. Okay.
Yeah.
Then later on, you go to Colorado Springs. All right. So then in the September, this is America.
That's right.
So, what do you remember of Colorado?
Altitude.
Yeah, was that hard?
Yeah. And I got a calf strain in the training prior to the, because I think we were probably going a bit too hard at it when we first got there,
Okay.
which you shouldn't really do anything.
Is that Featon's training or just you wanting to
Yeah, I'm
put you
not
on
used to
down?
training like that.
Right. Yeah. he was a bit of a demon, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was no good for me.
he? Right. So Colorado was because it's at altitude. I know I raced in Colorado.
5,000 feet above sea level. A wonderful place and a wonderful
Yeah.
experience for someone who's 15.
Yeah, of course. And you are still
I
you're
got
still
into their
15,
Olympic venue,
Yeah.
USOTC.
Yeah.
Go down in the old boxing.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some good boxers through there.
Yeah. Yes, it was a good place. I know. I
it
went
was
a few years
a
later.
good place. You could get any sort of dinner you wanted any time of night. The
That's
physiotherapy was
Yeah,
like
that's true. Forgot about
incredible.
all that. What did you think of the championships themselves? I mean, you didn't really fare that well in the champs.
No, that was sort of
different planet.
probably one step too far at that age.
Yeah.
But it's obviously a good learning curve.
Yeah, because who was the team? There was you, Newt, the old man. I think that was it, wasn't it? I know Lisa and Alison and Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa Burgess, I'm saying, because they got a bronze in the relay. Remember the girls getting the bronze in the
I
Worlds?
can't really remember.
You don't remember that?
No,
It was. I was staggered because like Lisa Burgess, bronze, world bronze medalist.
Yeah.
You forget like so Colorado.
But yeah, I remember the US. I remember Bill Begg cutting the was it? Oh, that might not have been there. I think he kept banging his knee on the bedpost.
Oh,
I
saw the bedpost up. I think that might have been Colorado.
Yeah.
So, and then around that sort of time, so it was also the track at Westbrook Lane was starting to be built.
That's right. Yeah.
How did the track come about?
That was a plan for the club really to get our own track, and that was done when I got back. It was near enough exactly the same time when I came back from Colorado.
And it was built at that point, was it?
Yeah.
What's the story? Because didn't your old man put up some? Didn't he? I don't know. Didn't he remortgage or?
I think the land came from the council.
Right.
And a lot of the club had saved a lot of money to try and do it.
Yeah. To put the track up there.
I can't really remember the ins and outs.
Right. Okay. I decided got it in my mind that your old man had, put a lot of, or done something or used. Okay. I didn't know if he had secured it on something. Okay. But so, what did you think of the track?
I think the actual track and the dimensions of it were superb, but the surface was like really badly laid.
Yeah, it was like a dead material. I used to find.
Yeah.
It was like I used to find there was no rebound in the track.
Yeah, it was a killer on your legs.
Yeah. But size wise.
Yeah, 166 metres.
Yeah, when he built the Ashley Harlow track, when he built just for you, I thought that's like.
I don't know. I didn't mind your track. I thought you built that for me as well.
Oh yeah. Well, you did win. You did win more on it than I did. So the West. I always remember Westbrook Lane. Still there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what condition it's in. I can't imagine it's in a very good condition.
There.
But it's still there. Yeah. So, and also, so you come into 1986. All right. So all a long time ago, still over 30 years ago, but 86. So now you've got Newton, Tucky, Doggett, where all they weren't sprinters by any stretch of the imagination. All they ever wanted to do was attack, off the front, attack. How did you react to that? How did you find that with your racing style? Because you were very much if I'm there at the finish, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hanging on by my fingernails. It's not a pretty way to race.
It was certainly.
If I was in that situation, I'd probably do the same thing. But yeah,
because their strength was their strength, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
and collectively they just blitzed everybody. They just went to the front, and unless they got away and lapped everybody, you just you know, which
That's
was their
it.
tactic, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, fair play to them. I'd have done the same thing. But yeah, it's a bit hard to stomach.
Did it dishearten you in any way? Do you think?
I think that and getting banned and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm going to come on to that in a bit. Yeah. Funny enough, yeah. I'm going to come on to the old band, but so I'm just wondered if, like, you know, because you'd been the sprinter, you'd been the guy who, you know, if the racing was hard and full on all the time and whatever, but you'd been at the end, but now this is just a totally different way of racing. '86 was really the emergence of the strength skaters, the attack skaters, if you like.
I'd as soon have been at Granby Hills on woods, chalk on the floor and a little bit of finesse to it.
Right.
That would have been better for me.
Okay.
Because no one would be blowing you away there. That would be people who can actually...
Yeah, because it was a technical track.
It's more technical and, you know... I do think that the people who were brought up on wooden wheels and tracks where there's a little bit of finesse needed. Yeah. But fair play to them.
Yeah, they played to their strengths.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, but... Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean...
But
it was never going to win you a world, was it?
No, it's a filthy way to carry on though.
Well, so I'll send this copy to Tucky and to Newt and Baggett.
I like the old boys.
I'm kidding. Like, you know, no, like I said, they played to their strength. It was the way they, you know.
I thought, who wants to put yourself through
that?
That was my
I mean, it suited me, if I'm honest, more than you.
Yeah,
I was never going, you know.
That didn't suit me.
If I, you know, but the only way he was ever going to get a win was like to get on the back of them, or because I was never going to out sprint anybody in a 1-to-1, you know. Although arguably that's how I won my British Championship, but I was never going to, you know, generally. So that was a way I would have raced more so than the way you would have raced, you know. But
I mean, my racing style was quite lazy. Just tuck in there.
Yeah.
And if I was there at
don't
the end,
see the front.
I had a good chance of this, like appear.
Yeah.
With half a lap to go or a lap to go, and happy days.
Happy days because I'm faster than everybody else.
Well, you know.
So, June 1986. You come up against Richard Hartley, your old nemesis from when you're 7.
Yeah.
So, what was the crack there then? What made you? How come you got 3 months?
I don't know. I remember seeing the black flag.
Yeah, but what happened?
I
mean,
think it is.
It's all right. You can tell us. It's all right.
No, it's in the fog of my memory, to be honest. But
that's on. It was on. Was it on? It was on Herne Bay, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was to do with selection for the Worlds or something.
Right, in '86. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know whether there was something.
Which is Adelaide.
Alliance or something was going on, and he gave me an almighty clump, knocked me sideways, and I just hit him right in the side of his head. And the next thing, the next thing I saw was a black flag. And they was pointing it at me. And the rest is history, I suppose.
Did he not get? He didn't get suspended, or did he?
No, I don't think so.
Just you.
Yeah.
He weren't skating for Wales then. He must be. I don't think he must
was
be
in a red and black.
He was Milton Keynes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Milton Keynes.
Yeah. That's what happened there.
Interesting.
Just a reaction, isn't it?
So was there a hearing?
Sorry?
Was there a hearing? Did you have to go for a hearing about your suspension?
I can't remember. I've been a few times. So I don't know which one's which.
Oh, you got to come which ones you won and which ones you lost.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you got 3 months suspension in the June.
I know I was supposed to go to Australia.
Which means that
there was an opportunity.
Yeah. So you couldn't go to Finale Amelia for the Euros.
I like it there.
Yeah, which was road and track, and you couldn't go to Australia for the Worlds.
Yeah. So,
can you remember how you felt back then, being left out of the British team?
I thought there was quite a lot going on.
Well, politically, you mean?
Yeah, politically, and I think I don't really think that a lot of people are different, but I don't think you should be out in the middle officiating if you've got children actually, or adults in that event. I don't think it's right, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying everyone, not at all, but I just don't think at times that's. I don't think that's right.
Okay.
And
you think there's an influence there, do you?
I think there was at times, and I think.
Do you think your band then was politically motivated, or do you?
I think I probably didn't help myself.
Uh-huh.
When you're 16 and someone gives you a whack,
Yeah.
you know, you think, I don't, you know, you don't think, do you? It's like in the heat of the battle, I'm not having that.
Yeah. But I mean, but you know, like for what you did or whatever. I mean, okay. I mean, maybe it was a 3 month ban was something, but you know, I mean, we've all got views on what was going on in the sport at that time, and I mean, I think that things like that have been going on since time immemorial, like long before us and long after as well. But that particular decision, do you think it was just harsh, or do you think it was warranted, or do you think it was motivated by other factors? Do you think it was a way of stemming Ashley Harlow, or do you think it was no? Actually, they just thought Ashley Harlow punched somebody inside the head. I'm going to ban him for 3 months.
Yeah, I think let's go with the last one.
Don't hold back, mate.
Let's go with the last one.
You don't have to. Just remember, this is, you know, this. You don't have to be politically correct.
No, I'm not being politically correct, but yeah, you know.
You want to give it a last
I
one?
think people can probably make their own minds up.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the one thing that I never realised, which, and I don't know how I feel about this personally, but when I'm surprised at you, Ash. I'm surprised you're holding back here, right? Because I would have expected you to say it exactly. I think you're a chip off your old man's block where you'll just say what you think is right, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to tell you now, right? So when you were banned,
yeah,
it meant that you couldn't skate the time trial in the British Championships. Okay.
There's something went on here.
Right. You couldn't skate the British Championship time trial, and then they couldn't get the time and equipment to work.
That's right.
So they switched it to the October on Tatum Park. By which time your ban had ended.
Yeah, but they still said.
And they said you weren't allowed to skate because you were banned at the time of the original event.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's a cop out. I think that somebody. I mean, no, that's just personal opinion.
We actually took out an injunction to stop the race.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
There was something. I remember something.
Yeah.
But I can remember saying to my dad, if we stop that race.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think we were in the right. If you're banned for 3 months.
You're banned for 3 months. If the race goes on later in the year, well, that's not. You're banned for 3 months.
I mean, I never messed about with the time and equipment. That's their problem.
The only thing I would say, what I was going to say was that the argument was that you can't enter the event, you know, because the entries were from earlier. But I think you'd entered the event.
Yeah, I'd already been.
You'd already entered.
Yeah, my name was already down for that.
Your name was already down.
Yeah.
But because it was the actual.
I think probably that situation tells you all you want to know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't want to put words into your mouth.
No,
I'm happy to say I think that was politically motivated.
Yeah, I do. And I was a wee bit pissed off about it as well.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
I
can remember backing and forward and the arguments over it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it is pretty petty.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you were like one of the absolute favourites to win that event.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd never had any problems with Richard Hartley before.
Yeah.
Never.
No.
But I don't know why that come about. It's
no,
just
we've all had bust ups. I mean, like I said, I got banned for having a bust up with Sutty. I mean, I'm all right with Sutty.
Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, I do. That is becoming more clear about that.
Yeah, I think you know, there may be a rule somewhere that says you can't, but personally, I think that
you just let it go, wouldn't you? You wouldn't try and a 16-year-old lad. Why would you try and push him? If I'd said, right, that's it, I'm not doing any more. That's it, I'm finished. If I said I'm finished then, there and then, it's probably not such a good thing for the sport when you try and when there's young people. I don't think I would. Well, I know I wouldn't. I'd try and encourage young people, not drive them into the dust. Yeah,
and I think that's the other thing is that, like, we know that. I mean, we know. There's, and again, even before us, but there's a lot of characters within the sport, and outspoken, whether it be me, the old man, your old man, or whoever, Malane, whoever, pick who you want.
Anything competitive.
But there's a difference between being outspoken and fairness, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I think that there is definitely, for me, I'm saying for me, as I view it, is that it was unfair. If I'm going to beat somebody, which as I said is few and far between really, but if I was going to beat somebody, but I'd want to do it. I'd want to feel that I'd done it fair and square.
Yeah, for sure.
Not handed to me, just handed to me on a plate. So
yeah,
I can't remember who won in '86. I don't know who won in '86. I don't know if it was the old man.
I don't know whether I was in it or not. I don't remember.
You didn't race it. They wouldn't let you race it.
No.
In the October, they wouldn't let you race it.
But we had taken out something that we could stop the event because it was unfair.
Okay. Right. Interesting.
But if we had put that in, then I don't feel I'd have ever raced again, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that was a lot of that.
Well, the thing is the following year then, '87, right? So you bounce back from that little debacle of the 3-month ban and everything else, and you win 3 British titles in '87. Yeah. And then you selected, and you are selected now for the team for the Euros. Chloe's now the team manager, actually.
Oh, that's Ostend, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think Goffey was the team manager for Adelaide. I think.
Right.
Because I think Goffey was the team manager. But so Ostend, Chloe's the team manager. So I mean, like he's still only 17.
Yeah.
But like by now you're quite an established member of the team. You've been in. You was in '85. You're going to trouble in '86, and then you're back in '87. And like. What was it like for you then? I mean, can you remember Ostend? Can you remember much of Ostend? Did you race the road?
Yeah.
So
I never felt right.
No.
I didn't feel right.
In what way?
I just felt jaded.
Okay.
I wasn't myself at all.
Right.
Don't know.
You don't know why that was?
No. I just didn't feel. I don't think my results were very good.
No, no. And on the track, I think they were pretty. They were okay.
They weren't okay.
But but Ostend. But who'd you got in the team? And Doggett was in the team. Tookie was in the team.
Right.
Tony Marriott's in the team now. Yeah. I think it was his first time out. Tony Marriott. So Marriott.
Oh yeah, because then there's the Euros he broke his arm, didn't he?
No, that was in Grenoble in the Worlds.
Oh, the Worlds.
In the Grenoble,
right.
And then they drove Doggett out to replace him. Did you go to Grenoble?
Yeah,
to Grenoble. But so in '87, so you did the Euros at Zandvoort, and like you did Grenoble. But what's interesting for me, I was looking through the results and stuff, is that September '87, you win the Southern Counties. Right. You win the Southern Counties, but then you never raced again until May '88. So in that period, like you're looking 8 months now, you never took part in a race of any description. You sort of was there a reason for that? Can you remember that?
I think I was injured with a hip.
Right.
And I'm just trying to think. I was having trouble with my neck.
Right.
But I didn't feel right.
You said the Euros, and you didn't really do much at Grenoble.
No, I think my career was. I think my health was not right.
Okay. In '87.
Yeah,
it was
I
on the
think
wane.
that's the start.
Yeah.
Of me not being the athlete I was.
Okay. And so you think that might have had some bearing on why you didn't do so many races? Because you picked and chose your races a little bit more.
Yeah.
I noticed, is that when I look back.
Well, to be honest with you, when people are trying to grind you into the ground
yeah,
with your race.
That's the other thing. I'm like,
I think that's probably why I chose that a little bit. And
yeah.
I had problems in my hip, which I had some problem with.
Okay.
And that was pretty bad.
Okay.
And my neck was not right either.
Okay.
And I just felt jaded all the time.
Right. Do you think...
I probably know what that is now.
Go on.
I've got a condition called AS.
Okay.
Ankylosing spondylitis.
Okay.
Which I think that was the it appears in towards your late teens.
Okay.
I think that was probably the start of it.
How does it? So, what are the symptoms for that? How does that manifest itself as a
Aching,
okay?
pains in your hip, pains in your neck. So pretty much, but it's very hard to diagnose.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't ever feel right after that.
So you think this is?
I never felt like I was going to fly like I
really did before.
Like I could, and my recuperation was poor.
That's interesting. So.
See, like in '88,
yeah,
I was exhausted. That's why I probably wasn't in the relay.
I'll tell you a few things about '88. This is well. First off, though '88. Really, I mean, Tony Marriott's, no bones about it. Like he started, like I said to you, '84 was your year. We're into the realms of Tony Marriott starting to come to prominence. I mean,
for sure.
Strong skater, and he'd been the end of his junior career. He was an exceptional junior. He'd come in '86. I think he'd turned senior in '86. I think, and started to medal and stuff. And then '87 he makes the national team. And he's all right. Nothing to write home about at Zanford. But '88 really sees him unsung, and we go to Goujan Mestras, if you remember, we went to France. My first time out, and Sean's first time out, so. But at that time, although you're picking and choosing your races, the Tuckies and the Newtons. Well, Newton had moved on. Really, Doggett was around but not around. But the battles then started to come between you and Marriott.
Yeah.
It was a strength versus speed almost.
Yeah.
How did you see that rivalry between you and him?
I get on well with Tony.
Yeah.
I've always got on right with Tony.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't want to lose to him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was strong.
Yeah. But did you you grew up in an era where and raced with the likes of Mullane and the old man and and now you sort of come through a little bit of the old Tucky Doggett Newton attack, and then you got Marriott who's just pure strength. He won't go out and lap the field. What he'll do, he'll wind up from 10 laps out and nobody can pass him. And again, a totally different way of racing, unless you can just be on his coattail. But did you have to adjust any to race with him, or?
I always thought I had a chance with a bit of speed.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel right a lot of the time.
Okay.
And maybe from sort of, you don't know what year you are starting to get into decline with your health and that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it might have been a completely different story if I had sort of stayed injury free.
Yeah.
And my health would have been a bit better.
Well, in France, in Goujan, you 500 metres on the road, and you finish fourth.
Yeah.
Sets a new British record. Stands for 21 years, even within lines, which is the fastest skate.
To be fair, that road was pretty smooth.
It was pretty smooth and it was pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, they broke all no end of world records on that road. To be fair, I know. I mean, I that road was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but you still come fourth. Even forget the speed, forget your record. You're still fourth in Europe.
Yeah.
Against the big boys.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean,
I think before, when I was fourth, the year after, I made a lot of impact, but it's harder with the seniors, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously there or thereabouts, isn't it?
Yeah. And we had some fun times on that trip.
Yeah.
I lost me some Christopher down the back of your shorts, but you found it
Don't
mixed
tell
up.
me about that.
It was found in a bunch of sand in your pants.
Yes.
But that's another story. But it's a Goujan. I mean, that road was rapid.
Yeah, it's a nice track.
And Tony gets silver in the 10K. How did you feel about Tony getting the silver? Was you happy? Was you jealous? Was you non-committal? You remember it?
I do remember him getting silver, and I was quite surprised actually. Maybe I should have been following him.
Don't think he was in the 10k, mate.
Not in the 10k.
No, it was.
I don't know what.
It was. I think it was me, him, and McGough. I think. So in the 10k.
No, I wish him well.
Yeah.
Sato, I think, won.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
put him on the line. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he did.
Another great athlete.
Yeah, absolutely, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah, Dr. Sato was his
Yeah.
name. But I says, Tony, give him a run for his money up that
Do you
finish.
know what?
Race.
Anyone who puts in as much effort as what he done,
Yeah.
and as much training as what he must have done
Yeah.
to bring himself up to that level,
Yeah.
don't think you can knock it, can you?
No. I mean, I absolutely wouldn't knock it. I think.
No, that's what I mean.
And he's got, and he obviously had, like yourself, he had natural skill and ability in terms of skating, and he had got a turn speed. He hadn't got an explosive speed like you, but his top end speed and sustained speed was
Yeah, he's great stamina.
it was awesome. Yeah, he could just wind and wind and wind. He got a massive engine.
Yeah.
He had. But again, so we go onto the track and we win the relay. Do you remember us winning the relay?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because I mean, the story I heard, I didn't know. I didn't actually know this at the time, but and how true this is, I don't know. Right, but this is how I understand it. I think I'm sure I heard this from your man, but it was some years later. But my understanding is that my dad and Di were having a conversation about the relay, and Tony didn't want to do the relay. He said he was tired. He didn't want to do it, and he said to Di, "I don't want to do the relay." But a conversation came about Di and my dad had says, "If there's one race that we could do well in, it'll be the relay because it's a free for all." And when Tony said to Di, "I don't want to do it, put Ashley in,"
I said I didn't want to do it.
Was it you said you didn't want to do it?
Yeah.
Did Di ask you first? Because this was never clear.
Yeah, they asked me, and I said I didn't want to do it.
Right.
I didn't feel well enough to do it.
Right. So he asked you to do the relay.
I didn't think it was fair on the other two in the team.
And then so it must have, because I don't know about Sean. I know Di had said to me, I'd fell in the 5K on the first day, if you remember. I had to have stitches. I had to go to hospital and have stitches.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Di. It was 3 days, and Di wouldn't skate me in the 10k, which I was a bit pissed about because distances were like, I'm thinking 10k where I'm at. He said, and Di said, "I'll stick you in the 1500, see how you get on, and if you do all right, I'll put you in the relay." Well, I thought 1500. That's not my bag at all. I think I got through to the final as the fastest time, and or somebody got disqualified, and then I went through as an ex-skater. So I know there was 7 in the final. So and I think I finished 5th in the final.
Yeah, it's a good result.
So and I think Di put me in the relay. It was only years later that I heard that I was in the relay, and then I couldn't remember whether he'd asked you and you said no. He'd asked Tony, and Tony didn't want to.
No, they asked me. I said I didn't want to do it.
And you don't want to do it, yeah. Okay.
I was on my uppers. I was.
So there was.
And that wasn't fair to the other two.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. As I said, I thought it was Tony who said he didn't want to do that.
No, that's me.
Yeah. Interesting. So how did you feel when they won?
I knew I didn't have it in me anyway.
Yeah.
But I was pleased to see the medal around your neck.
I bet. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny that I've got some I've got recollection of the relay. I've got no recollection of what we did on the night. I don't think we did anything. I think we just sat and had a beer. I don't think we done anything. Got hammered. We just So all right. So we won the relay. You've got your 4th. You've got your British record. And then we got off to Cassano Dada for the Worlds, and in later on that year, a few weeks later actually, and me and you roomed together, and the story about flooding Henry's room with the pipe and all that sort of stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. If Henry was alive, I'm sure he'd have something to say about it.
I told Henry. I obviously didn't know it was Henry's room.
And yeah, that's right. Yeah, except for his underpants under it. But the relay at Cassano was me, you, and Sean.
Was it? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, It was the relay on Cassano was me, you and Sean. It was the last event on the road. It's the last time you put a skin suit on, a GB skin
Was
suit
it?
on. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So Cassano, Dada, and that relay, me, you and Sean,
88.
and you 88, and you never raced for Britain again
Mm.
after that point. But do you think you was on the wane then?
Yeah, I'd had it.
Is that
At that level of competition,
yeah,
you can't have anything that's sold in your bag.
yeah,
And I think I was 20 when it was diagnosed,
right, okay,
and that's what that was all about. That,
Okay.
that manifested itself
right. So you're
a few
feeling
years
rough.
before that.
So you're feeling rough,
I
but
wasn't
didn't
right.
quite know what it was.
Every time I went to a championships and I wanted to turn on a bit of, it wasn't there.
So when we come back from Cassano, what was the? And it must have been late in the year because I think Cassano was September, I think, and then you got banned again for
Did I?
swearing. Did you? So what was all that about? I know you're supposed to have told the officials bollocks, but what was bollocks? What was it that you didn't agree with? Can you
I
remember?
don't remember.
You just
I don't remember what the.
and you don't even
So-
remember. You don't remember turning around to them and.
I remember saying it, but I said Rolex.
Oh, is that what you said?
I didn't actually
Yeah, that's
say
right. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
did go to a meeting
Yes,
to verify that in the
Yeah.
heart of London,
yes.
that Rolex is where the oars of a boat go in. And I did tell them that, but as per normal, there was no one willing to listen.
They didn't
to my
believe
side
you.
of the story.
Strange that.
Yes, it,
Yeah.
was a shame.
It was a shame. So he gets another 3 months.
But I don't know what the decision was, what it was over.
Right.
But I would not have said Rolex lightly.
Yes. But you don't know what it was about.
No.
Yeah. I'm sure I've got some records somewhere of it.
I'd like to know.
I'll have to find
Yeah,
it.
do it part 2.
But yeah. So
I can remember it was at Tatum Park,
yeah, it was.
and as
yeah,
I went
it was.
past the
yeah,
finish
yeah.
line,
Yeah.
where there was a little table with all judges on,
That was Rolex.
that was Rolex.
Yeah.
A load of Rolex.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm going to say, so, I mean, I think, you might disagree, but your old man, your dad, he was quite known for his outspoken views at the time, I think, you know. I mean, we've had our moments, I think, as everybody, but, you know, would you say you're a chip off the old block in that respect? I'm surprised actually. You know, we're an hour and a half into this, and you're quite a reserved character, which is not the Ashley Harlow that I knew 30 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're more fiery as you're younger, aren't you?
Do you think you're mellowed?
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, it's a bit of sport, isn't it? It's a
Yeah,
bit of sport
it
that was
is,
a long
that's what it's
time
all
ago.
about. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to sort of. I'm not bitter about any of it now.
No, God, no, I don't. I think it's all experiences,
Yeah,
you know. And I
but,
think on the day,
I know in my life I would try and encourage young people
yeah,
rather than grind them into the dust.
yeah.
That would be my point to say.
But do you think you had a chip off the old block? Do you think you're outspoken? Do you think you was at that time?
I wouldn't have been bothered about telling someone if I thought something was wrong,
Yeah,
and I still would, to be honest.
Yeah.
but,
yeah. Just not in front of the camera.
No, it's not even so much that, to be honest. I can't even remember what it was over.
Yeah.
If I knew what it was over, I'd probably
Yeah.
like give it both barrels. I know I said Rolex,
Yeah.
but and I expect there was a lot of delight when the flag come out.
I can't remember. I only have vague recollection of it. I can't really.
I don't
have to
even
remember.
know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know whether it was a clear decision on the line.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was a
genuinely
clear-
don't know.
The clear error on the finish line.
I'd have to have a look.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd be quite interested to know actually.
But what I do know is that it was in the off season anyway, right? But the following year, in '89, the European Championships were going to be in the Azores
Right.
on a real goat track, left hand, right hand, and bloody loop-de-loops, all sorts of a real goat track. And Di Davis had got the plans for the track, and he laid out on the car park. He put cones out to the same dimensions and layout as the track in the Azores. Not the same surface because it was cement, but we didn't know. I didn't know what it was, but I remember him putting that out, and it was a real goat track, all really, really hard going. And you turn up. This is March now, right? So you've been banned for 3 months, off season, winter, and then we get to March. It's cold, it's wet, it's windy at some goat track in Birmingham and the NEC car park, and you turn up and absolutely destroy everybody. Absolutely just bury everybody into the ground. Do you remember that?
No. But I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
I do remember going.
I shouldn't have been so stupid. Yeah, he was all right actually.
I do remember going somewhere, and there was a bit of something to prove.
Yeah. That's what I found. The dog's in. Yeah, I think. I mean, yeah, there was obviously something to prove.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and that, I mean, that's the best answer of all of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, you know, you come back and like, even so at the time for me, there was only 2 real kids on the block at the time for me. You know, there was only 2 people to beat for me.
Right.
You know, and that was you and Tony. You know, for me, it was only, no. What I mean, like, you know, I know I'm not naive enough and not, you know, not proud enough to know that where I stood within in that sort of ranking. Like, you know what I mean? Is that like, if I beat you or beat Tony, you know, you could probably count on one hand. You know, but and I was always quite happy when I did, obviously, but more often than not, the battle was between you and Tony.
Yeah, it was a flop.
You know, it was, and you know, and I just picked up some pieces. That's which is fine because that's just how it is.
I don't know what I was doing in March though.
But in March, I just remember you came back and destroyed me, Tony, everybody. Just absolutely. I don't know, you know, and I felt it was
just
like
saying to like stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
And that's exactly what it felt like. Yeah. And yet, you didn't do many races after that though. You did the March thing. You come back, put everybody back in the box, and you didn't do many races. And then the team was selected for the Euros. I don't think they were doing the Worlds at the time. But
the team was selected just prior to the British Championships.
It was.
Yeah.
And your name went on the team sheet.
And I turned up at the British Championships.
Yeah.
And I was planning to smoke everyone again.
Yeah.
Like I'd done on that March.
Yeah.
But I think I won the 300 metre.
You did? Yeah.
So I think that puts your ass on the plane to start with.
Yeah.
If you're the quickest guy there.
Yeah. But they'd selected before the champs.
Yeah.
And your name went on the team sheet.
I knew it wasn't on the team sheet. That's why when I turned up there, I was, you know, there was a lot to prove.
Yeah.
And that's why I was chucked off the track in the 5k.
In the 5k.
Yeah.
But the team sheet. So
Hugh Doggett was in the team.
He was in the team, yeah. He was in the team. Yeah. But
no disrespect to Hugh.
No, of course not. But in the build up to that, I mean, I was shocked that your name weren't on the team, especially as you'd gone in March.
Mm.
I mean, okay, you could argue that after March, you didn't race that much. You know, you did the odds and sods, but you know, maybe it's wrong of me to say, but I weren't selecting the team, but I was quite surprised that you wasn't included.
Yeah.
But was you surprised?
Yeah, I wasn't really that surprised. I think if you looked at the records, then I should have been on the sheet. Yeah. But after being banned, and I did actually feel that there was, you know, people were quite pleased if I wasn't there.
There was an agenda.
Yeah, I do believe so. Yeah. I don't want to point fingers at anyone.
No, but you believe it.
But if I hadn't been chucked off the track in the 5,000, history would have been a bit different.
Yeah.
But those people would have still gone to the European Championships, and I still wouldn't have done because there would have been no change.
Yeah, and like, because as I said to you,
I don't know what the gap was between the championships and the actual event.
And what the Euros, you mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember. So
I don't know what the
think
gap was.
I'm pretty certain that the championships were end of July, early August, and I know the British Championship. You won your British title on the 1st of July. You won it.
Right.
1st of July, you won the time trial, and I'm sure the Europeans were about 4 weeks later.
Oh, okay.
About 4 weeks later. But I was like I said, I remember what all I remember from that. I remember being surprised that your name went on the team sheet, and I remember the day it was announced that your mum. I remember, if any words were ever said, it was always with your old man. You know, it was always with your old man. But with you, I just remember your mum talking to me. I can picture me now, like walking around, rolling the track, and your mum said, "I totally disagree with that team selection, and she said, John, you deserve your place on the team, you and Tony. I'm not too sure about the others. I know the others were Huey and Sean, and I have to say is that, like, whether I agree or disagree whether they should have been there, I absolutely think that you should have been there too. I think it just seems an odd decision to leave out your best sprinter.
Yeah. I probably felt a little bit like that at the time.
Yeah. Well, your mum certainly did.
Yeah.
So, so you then go to the Azores. So, day one, you win the time trial. So, March, you've stuck that in your pipe to everybody.
Yeah.
You haven't done that many races, which could have been a factor, but then 1st of July, you go and silence all your critics by winning the time trial. And then in the 5K the following day, you say you pushed off the track, you fall, whatever way you want to put it, and you do your thumbing. What did you do to your thumb?
Oh, a Bennett's fracture. I sheared that off completely in there.
Yeah. I remember you coming off the track. I remember you walking off the track and saying, "I'm done." Them exact words.
That's true.
I remember you saying, "I'm done," and I never saw you again. Never saw you on a pair of skates. Never saw you.
He did in 2015, but
2015. But I never. Yeah, that was the last time I saw on a pair of skates. But I never. But 1989.
Yeah, it's too many factors.
You walked away.
Yeah, it's hard enough fighting your opponents without some of the directing staff as well.
So, but do you think it was a rash decision, or did you?
No, I come to the end of the line.
Had you?
Yeah, and I mean, how far do you push it? I wasn't feeling at my best.
Yeah.
I still would have deserved to have gone, I think, to these competitions.
Yeah.
But I'm a realist, and you stand on the line at the start of a race at the World Championships, and the bloke next to you, he don't work. He gets on a bike one day, does 100 mile. Next day, he'll do a little bit of weights. Next day, a little bit of recuperation. You ain't going to compete with that. These people, a lot of them living at altitude, 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet above sea level. I know how I felt when I came down from Colorado Springs, and how quick I felt, and how much air I felt I had. I think it just dawns on you, think, I've gone as far as I can go. I can walk 30,000 steps some days as a groundsman, and I don't think you can get the level of training in that you need to compete with these people.
Had you been building up to that decision, do you think, or do you think that was just the final straw?
In '88, I looked at, what was the gentleman's name, the Colombian?
Botero.
Yeah. I looked at him and I thought, you just, with all the will in the world, you can't compete.
He was 16 in Casano.
Yeah. But his chest was wider than I was tall, I felt.
Yeah.
You're born at altitude.
Yeah.
And, it's very difficult to compete. And a lot of these countries have got a lot of funding and a lot of help. And I think in the UK, a lot of the skaters done well in spite of the country, not because of it.
Yeah. So you think that 1989, it wasn't a spur of the moment decision, a rash decision. there'd been a lot of build up to that.
Yeah, getting banned and certain decisions and stuff. I mean, I'm a realistic person. Things don't always go your way, but you know, the thing about the time trial, I couldn't compete in it and all this. You know.
Did you feel you were battling off as well as on the track?
Yeah, I think so. Shouldn't have said Rolex to the judges, but yeah, I wouldn't have said that lightly. I wasn't saying that week in, week out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd actually like you to come back to me with.
I will find out.
Yeah,
I'll certainly do my research. You know me. I don't like to leave stones unturned.
Exactly.
I don't like to leave stones.
Yeah, I don't know, John. I don't know what it was over.
So who would you say your fiercest competitor domestically was?
Domestically, I mean, towards the end, would have been Tony.
Yeah.
He gave me the best run for my money.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know out of races who would have the upper hand, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you look at it, back in those times, who's got the nod of the most victories, but you know, he was a bloody tough competitor.
Well, I think if he hadn't broke you, and you were in with a sniff, generally you'd get the nod. I think in the race, if he'd just wound up
that constantly with people
it would just do
going off all the time, and that was,
was,
you know, I found that a bit wearing, to be honest.
Yeah, don't we all? But you know, but but who would you say your biggest influences were?
I don't know. Yours as a kid, you always look at great old champions and stuff. I've a lot of time for your dad. It's helped me a lot. When I would skate with him, he was silky smooth.
Mm.
When you follow him, it was just right.
Mm.
At the bigger races, my brother was older than me, obviously.
Yeah.
There would be old champions who would skate at Santa Maria or Cremona or something like that. And Luciano Cavallini, I spent a bit of time with him on the track, and that was a great experience. I loved old Mr. Fischer from France. Louis Fischer, champion of the world in 38, I think, or something like that.
38, 37, 38. Yeah.
Lovely man. So I'd take a lot of the good things, all that sort of stuff. You know, there's been some great champions. Di Persio, Cresciani.
Did you ever get an urge to put your skates back on though?
No, I think the time had gone because I would.
Really?
Yeah, definitely, because I wouldn't have been able to compete. Do yourself a favour, have a look at AS.
Yeah, okay. I will.
I don't think you can compete at that high level if you're not absolutely.
But so with the AS, did you feel though without it you'd have carried on, or? You know, even
I've still got band and stuff.
Yeah, but
I think you come to the end of the road. Don't you? I've been doing it since I was 7-year-old.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
You know, and different challenges in life and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I haven't done too bad. And you know, I do like a bit of sport. Still enjoy sport and watching boxing and.
So what have you been doing since you threw your skates away then?
I've still got them.
All right. Since you hung them up for a bit.
Mainly work and family. Just different things really. I like my motorcycles.
But you never even went to watch a race. You walked away that day. I'm done. And you really was.
I was done.
You was done.
Yeah.
You really was. You never. But you know, is that in them intervening years from '89 right until 2015, I'd never saw or heard of you even gracing a roller skating track. You never even went to watch a championships, or you never went and dog it was, or where the Tony, you know.
No,
you just kept totally away. You disappeared off the face of the earth.
A lot, trying to build business up and stuff.
But you had no desire to go back.
No, I think one dose of poison's enough with a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever put your skates back on?
I put some on the other day.
Did you put them on before 2015? Or was that the first time you put them on?
That was the first time.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he looked a bit unsteady.
I was.
Yeah.
Unstable. Not just
He
on
looked
his
like
skates.
he looked like he was out of puff. He must have been away, didn't he?
Yeah, I have.
But you never put him on from the day you walked away to that
No.
day.
No.
And yet you still got your skates.
I've still got them, yeah.
Why?
Because I won the European Championships on them. And I've had them since I was really little. You just wouldn't throw them away, would you?
And where's your medals?
Upstairs, you know.
Oh yeah.
Have a look.
Oh well, did a bit, yeah. And what about any shirts?
Yeah, I've got them, yeah. Yeah.
Are they on show?
No, my lovely wife did a picture of me at the track. I think that was in France.
Yeah.
That was a lovely surprise. She went and did that for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was nice.
So just what tucked away in a drawer, or are they in a cat? Are they gone? Yeah.
Oh, they're in a carrier bag somewhere, I think.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So now, so you've got no desire to be a veteran then?
No, because of the same issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of it looks like distances to me. It's
Yeah.
all
They
distances and
did have
marathons.
they had the 100-metre sprints today, Ash.
Did
You'd have
they?
been, well, you'd have been all right over the first 5 centimetres, but then I think you'd have struggled after
What's that? Veterans 100 metres.
They had everything. They're the veterans, the 100 metres.
How old's a veteran in?
How old's a veteran?
Yeah.
How old do you want them to be? Over 35.
Over 30.
Well, I'm not being funny. Mac and Ernie, remember Macca?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he won a British Championship a couple of weekends ago. He won the points race, and he's 50 next year. I mean,
I like the old boy, but that's a sad situation.
ain't that a sad situation?
Yeah.
You know, it really is.
Yeah, and he'd say
That's
the
a
same
sad
thing.
thing.
I'm not taking
Oh, he
anything
did.
away from him.
I spoke to him on the day before he won it. Funny
Yeah.
enough, and we were laughing about the fact that he's still skating. But I couldn't even tell you where my skates are.
Can you?
But no. I've got my quads, but I haven't got my inlines.
My lovely Julian, no, mine.
Well, there you go. So listen, Ashley Harlow. I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic
It's been great to see you.
to catch up with you. And of course, I've had a nice Sunday meal off your lovely wife Julie, and she's given me a pudding that has burnt the roof of my mouth. It was fine, hotter than the sun. but no, I've really enjoyed getting an insight into your skating career, and I reckon you were holding back a bit, but I reckon it's because you think I'm going to put this on YouTube. So
I don't want me to put it. I don't want to stir up too much of the past.
No,
a lot of that's gone.
I-
I've got my
yeah.
views, and
Yeah.
all I would say is encouragement of youth.
Yeah, and I like that, and I appreciate that.
That would
I think
be
it's
my thing.
Yeah.
That was what I would like to see, and I wouldn't want to see any sport put people in the same situation. Maybe I was a prat. Maybe I, was outspoken and I did say bollocks. I know that, but I did sometimes feel that there was a delay if I was banned.
Yeah, the only time I remember, I can be waffling on there, but I remember twice, but I do remember a race, the very first race I ever won, scratch race I should say, was on a rink at Derby
Right.
in '87, and it was the very first time I won, and there was some prize money up for grabs. You remember that one?
Yeah.
And I remember, and I just remember that me and Ashby said, whoever gets the front, right, the other bloke in second, watch his back. If we can get off the start, 1 and 2, go. Anyway, we went off the start, and I got the front in front of. I got the start in front of Ashby, and Ashby didn't stop behind. And then I started to pull away, and everybody tried to get past Ashby, and it was a big, a big melee of it. He got disqualified, and by now I was half a lap up. Well, I mean, I weren't the best of skaters, but I just remember Marriott coming at me like a steam train, right? If you watch the video, he is coming at me like a man possessed, and there just weren't enough laps for him to catch me. Just weren't enough, but he was just, as I crossed the line, he was just, he was a few metres behind me. All I remember at the end of that race is your old man running down from the stands and going, "That was rubbish, Fry. You wouldn't have won that if it weren't for Ashby." And I turned around and goes, "You're right, and we're going 50-50 on the prize money."
That's good.
And it's really funny. It's one of the few things I remember about your old man. But I do wish him all the well. But listen, anyway, enough of that. enough of that. Like I said, he's at All Out yesterdays, and I've really enjoyed catching up on All Out yesterdays. That's been absolutely brilliant. So, Ashley Harlow, British skating legend, great to see you, mate.
Cheers, John.
Really.
Thanks, mate.
No, you take care.